Hi, boys and girls. Let's talk science and do a little bit of reviewing. Think back to our beginning online slides. Do you remember the first one? It was about our 5 senses. We talked about we use our nose for smelling, our eyes for seeing, our ears for listening, our mouth for tasting, and our fingers and toes, and actually our whole body to feel things. And then week 2, we talked about chickens aren't the only ones. Do you remember what chickens aren't the only ones to do? That's right. They're not the only ones to lay eggs and hatch from eggs. Then week 3, we talked about the life cycle of a robin. Oh, I've seen those robins and their nests in my yard, and how fun to know that we know the life cycle of a robin now. It goes from egg to chick to fledgling when they get their feathers to the adult, and then it starts all over again. Then last week, we talked about the life cycle of a sunflower. It starts off as that black and white striped seed. We plant it, it sprouts, it gets a bud that's green, and then it blooms. It opens with that big yellow flower. And in the middle of the flower is where all the sunflower seeds grow. And then by the fall time, it's all droopy and bent over, and the seeds are ready to be picked to use again to plant back to the beginning of the life cycle, or you can roast them and eat them. So I heard from 2 of my friends. I heard from Lenny, shout out to you, girlfriend, and Braden. They both sent me their pictures and their writing from last week. Lenny said, my sunflower will grow as tall as my mom. And Braden said, my sunflower will grow as tall as my dad. So great job, you guys. Keep those pictures coming. That makes me so proud that you're doing your learning at home. All right, so this week we are going to talk about the life cycle of an insect. So you know all about insects, and we see them in the summertime, like a butterfly, a grasshopper, oh, those pesky mosquitoes, a housefly, a ladybug, a praying mantis, firefly. Oh, I love catching those fireflies, and I'm going to show you something you can make at the end of our lesson to catch those fireflies. Ants, bumblebees, and dragonflies. So we're going to talk about the life cycle of an insect today. And although there's many different insects I could read a book about, I'm going to read you a book about the life cycle of a butterfly. Life cycle of a butterfly. What is a butterfly? A butterfly is a type of insect. Insects have 3 pairs of legs, making 6 legs altogether. So here's your butterfly. Insect bodies are divided into 3 parts. They have a head, which is the front part, and that has the eyes and the mouth. Then the middle part is called the thorax, where the legs and wings are attached. Then the third part is the abdomen, and the abdomen is the back part of the insect, where the insect digests the food that it eats. The story of a butterfly. Butterflies flutter around plants. Female butterflies look for a place to lay their eggs. The eggs will hatch into caterpillars, and later the caterpillars will change into beautiful butterflies. So here is a butterfly egg. They lay them on leaves. Then those eggs hatch and turn into the caterpillar. The caterpillar then builds that cocoon, or the science word is pupa, into the cocoon, and it stays in there for a couple of weeks before it hatches into a beautiful butterfly. So it's egg, caterpillar, pupa, cocoon, and then adult insect. In the spring, a female butterfly searches for somewhere safe to lay her eggs. She lays them usually under the leaves where they are hidden from view. Pretty smart of those butterflies and insects. Different types of butterfly lay their eggs in different plants. Peacock butterflies choose nettles. These plants have stingy hairs. The stings stop animals from eating the nettles and the eggs. So see, those are the ones that you touch, those leaves, and ooh, they got little prickers on them. That's pretty smart. So then it camouflages them and protects them from being eaten by predators. The egg hatch. A few days later, the eggs hatch and a tiny yellow caterpillar comes out of each one. Caterpillars spend most of their lives and time eating, so they grow quickly. They get fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. As a caterpillar grows, its skin becomes too tight and splits. The caterpillar sheds its skin, revealing a new one underneath. This is called molting. A caterpillar is also known as larva. Larva, another big science word. Caterpillars are soft and juicy, so lots of other animals want to eat them. Most caterpillars have special ways of staying alive. Like the monarch caterpillars are bad to eat. The stripes warn other animals that they are poisonous. And then if they try to bite them, they taste really yucky. Many caterpillars are green, so they blend in with their surroundings. Remember what this is called? You know what it's called? Camouflage. So it protects them from being seen by other animals. And then look at this caterpillar. It has sharp spines on its body. Another way it can protect itself during this life cycle stage. Caterpillars grow fast. After about 14 days, a caterpillar is ready to change into a pupa. This is the next stage of its life cycle. So watch, see, it bends and it starts to molt. And before you know it, it looks like that. And the caterpillar is inside that cocoon, or we call it a pupa. It is usually green or gray, so it is different to see on a plant. This is another example of camouflage. My dog Mulligan wants to come in, but I'm not going to let him. After about 2 weeks, the pupa of the monarch butterfly becomes darker in color. Look at these pictures. See that? And then you can almost see the monarch inside. An adult butterfly does not grow anymore. Male and female monarchs look similar, but males have small dark spots on the back of their wings. See them right here? Those are the dark spots. That's how you can tell. This is a female, this is a male. Butterfly life. Butterflies flutter around searching for food in grassy and woodland areas or places where there are flowers. All butterflies feed on sweet, sugary nectar that they find inside those flowers. Once the female butterfly lays her eggs, a new life cycle begins. And that is how that life cycle gets started all over again. As the summer comes to an end, monarch butterflies start an amazing journey called migration. They fly to warmer places. The journey can cover thousands of miles and take more than 2 months. Look at those butterflies, those monarchs flying together, migrating. That means they go south to warmer weather. In spring, the butterflies set off to their summer homes. On the way, they lay eggs. Their young change into butterflies and continue the journey. The end. The life cycle of a caterpillar and butterfly. And this life cycle is the same for all insects. They start out as an egg, they turn into the larva, the little worm, or the caterpillar for the butterfly. Then they build their cocoon or pupa before they hatch and start that life cycle all over again. So let's do a little reviewing about the butterfly life cycle. First, here's those tiny eggs. They lay them on the underside of the leaf to protect them from being eaten. Those eggs will hatch into the larva, the caterpillar. The caterpillar will eat and eat and eat. Think of the story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. They eat and eat and eat and get fat, and then they make that cocoon, that pupa around themselves. They sleep inside there until they're ready and they have changed into a butterfly. And they will hatch and start that life cycle all over again. That's why a life cycle is a wheel. All right, so get out your science notebooks because your sentence this week says, so let me get this turned. It's not being cooperative. There it is. My favorite insect is a, now think of an insect that you love to see in the summertime. You love to catch. That could be your favorite insect. So Mrs. Dempsey, she's going to say probably one that you won't think is your favorite. So I'm going to choose that one. My favorite insect is a bee, a bumblebee, a bee. My favorite insect is a bee. Now I made your sentence longer because I want you to tell me why your insect is your favorite. So because, oh, I know, I bet you can figure it out too, why I love bees. What do bees make? They make honey. Mrs. Dempsey loves to dip her chicken nuggets in honey. And bees are important to make that honey. All right, so when you finish your sentence, remember to read it over. My favorite insect is a bee because they make honey. And then I want to see your picture of your insect. So remember what they said? Insects have 3 body parts. They have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. On the thorax are the 6 legs, 3 on each side. Insects have antenna. They have 2 eyes. And what else do insects have? They have wings. Okay? And a bumblebee has stripes, so you can add your stripes after you get your 3 body parts. Remember, the back part is the abdomen, and that is where the food is digested. And then, of course, color in your insect beautifully so it looks like the real thing. So I would continue to make this look like a beautiful bumblebee. But remember last week I showed you how to take a milk container and turn it into a watering can for your flowers that you're going to plant. Remember, speaking of seeds and planting, write me a letter. I sent a letter to Dylan this week with seeds, and Emmeline is going to get her letter with pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. So after you plant them, use your watering can that we made out of a milk jug last week. Well, this week, I want you to eat some peanut butter. Get your peanut butter jar empty. Get it washed out. And then take your markers or your crayons or paint, whatever you have at home, and I want you to draw some insects on there. Here is a ladybug I drew, and here's my ladybug puppet for you. See, there's the wings, here's the 6 legs. I drew a grasshopper, a butterfly, I drew the bee, here's an ant. Fill up your jar with insects pictures. Then, you're gonna need your help of your dad. You're going to want your dad or your mom to use their little drill and put some air holes in there. I attached a pipe cleaner, but you could attach string or shoelace tie it on the bottom, and then twist it back on, and you have a bug jar. So in the summertime, you're outside at night, you can collect those lightning bugs, those fireflies. Remember though, after you collect them, even though we have the air holes in them to let them breathe, remember to let them go so they get back to their mommies and daddies at night. All right, boys and girls, I hope you like this science lesson. Work hard, remember. Please send me your finished work. I love seeing them. And if you want to send me a letter, I will send you the seeds. See you next week for Science Time.